Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you a secret weapon against the pawn move d4. So let's jump right in. d4, now we develop the knight, stopping the pawn from getting to the center. They will take space at the queen side, and now we'll strike at the queen side with this pawn move c5. Very important. This is the opening, the Benoni opening. So there are a couple of things they can do. They can push, which is the main line, and most people play this. I'm a 2100 and this is what I face kinda like all the time. Then there's the less popular taking, but at low level I think you will get this a lot because people just think, but isn't that just a free pawn? And it isn't. I can assure you that. So, and then they can defend with the pawn or with the knight. So let's first look at taking the pawn, which is what most people will play. And now we can actually try to win the pawn right back with our knight. So if we play this move, he cannot defend only with his bishop move, because b5 defending the pawn, we can just take that pawn, so we want a pawn back, and then he has isolated c-pawns, which is even worse. And maybe some people will try to play the bishop to e3, but we can play queen c2, or we can play this move, but then you can maybe move to the center. So just a simple queen to here, attacking the pawn, and you win back your pawn. Or you can play the more aggressive queen check. If he blocks with the bishop, you take the pawn with the queen. If he blocks with the queen, you can trade the queens, and then they can actually develop the knight, so that's not really what you should do. So after this bishop move, you should go for this line, winning the pawn back with a guarantee. And the plan, which you will very clearly see in the push variation, is that, let's say they just then develop the knight because they're gonna lose the pawn anyway. We don't even have to take back right away, but we can go for the king side fianchetto. Then we can take back the pawn. Then we can play d6. Then we can develop this bishop, and that's our setup going to be. So I can show you an example. So here he decides his bishop is blocking his pawn and he wants to get his bishop out, so he moves it here. We develop this bishop, he develops the knight. Now we castle. Now he plays this e3 move. And now we take back because we want to play this move, so we take. He can play b4, but we can go here, attack the bishop. But let's say he just develops, we play d3, he castles, and this is how our game is going to look like. And if he plays this, we can just slide up, no worries, we chase away the knight. We bring a rook to the c-file, we chase away this bishop, we jump our knight into the middle, open this powerful bishop up. Very nice position for black. So let's see, that's if they take. But what if they defend? I find this variation the most annoying because all the positions are very different. So here I suggest just going with your fianchetto idea. They can maybe develop, we develop, knights get out, we castle, so kind of King's Indian style with this move c4. And if at any point they take the pawn, we can just go for our knight a6 and queen c2 idea. So that's not going to work, so they just develop even further. And in these positions you can develop the knight, but then they will get this move with a tempo, and we have to kind of retreat because otherwise our knights get stuck on the outsides, and now we cannot re-enter because of our pawn over here. So here I like to take. Knight takes would be worse because his pawn structure will be a bit worse, so they should probably take with the pawn. And now I like this move d4. So this is a bit advanced, but if they take, we play against the IQP with the knight coming out, putting pressure, the queen, the bishop, and we can get this bishop over here and take. So this pawn will be lost in the future. Play d3, rook to d1, rook to c1, and you will just win the pawn and have a very nice endgame. So they can ignore, so let's say the castle, but here we can even take the pawn. Now pin the knight. They think it's an annoying pin, so they move back. And here it's important, before you play this move, you push the pawn forward to stop him from going to e5 attacking the knight. So we play e3 because our bishop is out of the chain. If they chase it, no worry, we take. And now we can play a lot of moves, but I like this. You can say but he damaged our structure, but look at the clamp we have on this square, and this pawn will be lost. And our pawn we can defend very easily with something like queen b6, also putting pressure and defending the pawn. So that's nice. So that's if they kinda decide to do nothing. A quick summary. If they take, if they defend, we just go for our fianchetto and the castle, and then eventually we take. And if everything's normal, we play d5 and we try to take him, get the IQP, develop the knight, get the bishop out, trade it for the knight, and just a very nice pressure out. That's a mistake. But there is one tricky line in this variation, and that's if we play like, and they play like a6, and you may say, oh, just go with the fianchetto because that's what he told me. But now they can take. Why? You say, I just go here because b4 is reinforced, and this is a very bad position. I can show you with the evaluation. It's a 1.1 already for white because it's just up a whole pawn. Then he will counteract our bishop on this file, and we will just have nothing. So that's what you should look for. It can also happen a bit further down the line. So let's say here, and now we castle. Maybe a move earlier. So now they play a3, and you say just castle because that's what he told me. And then they suddenly take this pawn. I attack with the knight because that's what he told me. And there they go, b5, a worse position because he has the connected pawns. This knight is trash, and we cannot really easily play this move because he will just trade, give us a worse pawn structure, but the bishop does have to get out. So what are we going to do? And if you look at the evaluation, it's 0.8. So yeah, that's one line you have to be careful. So then you might say, but okay, they play a6, and what should I do? Just take the pawn, develop, play d4, get the knight out. Easy. Okay, and now we go to the main line. They push the pawn forward. This is the main line, but it's also kind of the easiest line. We play d6, so we stop him from pushing forward. They will develop the knight. Like almost all games go like this. We go for the queen side development. He develops the other knight. We castle. He brings out the bishop. We bring out our bishop. He castles. And here I like this move. To just trade, open up the e-file, and then later get the knight into the game. So game can go like this. I like to take. Knight takes is not good because it looks good, but we are not going to take the knight because we're just gonna, if he takes us, that's okay. But now he has just these two bad pawns in the center, and we can get our knight. Normally it's the knight is kinda stuck because the pawn's always here controlling this square, so let's go like this to e5, to sometimes let's go like this, re-enter the game. So that's a win for us if we can get the knight out over there. So that's wrong, so they probably take with this pawn. Now I like this idea of getting queenside pressure. So let's say they just play a normal move. Here we go, b5. We try to go b5, e5, chase away these pieces. Get ready for center. Also, it's a pin, but we can always move our queen because the knight's defended by the bishop, so he doesn't damage our pawn structure. So after a6, they're probably gonna play a5, stopping you from letting this move, but now just rook e1, putting pressure to the center. They can chase away your bishop. Okay, we take. And now we move this knight. We're ready to get in here and just pick up a piece, and they say no, and then they say yes, I'm going still there because we still got a bishop, and now it's a dark squared bishop, and this bishop will be a monster just like in all the Dragon Sicilians and King's Indian. So that's a possibility of how the game can go. There are some other variations where they play like f4, but we just guess because this isn't really a threat. It looks very scary, but if you look at the evaluation, it's better for us. And you might say why? Because we can just go knight to g4 and we win this pawn. So that's easy because he cannot defend it if he tries. It's not defended because we attack with the knight and with the bishop. So then he can just develop. Really want to play this move, but now we pin a bit knight, so it's not a move because it's pinned. So he might develop the bishop, unpinning. Now we develop the knight, taking away this square once again. If he chases away, we know we take. We play e6, get the rook to e1. Try this a4 b4 idea. Sometimes it's also okay to sacrifice a pawn over here to open up some lines, get the queen to support, pin the knight so they cannot take, and just take back like this maybe. So that's kind of our game plan. So now we play this, they gotta play this. Now we can play e6, they develop, we take, rook to the e file. We can even put pressure now. These are very nice positions, in my opinion. Then there's one extra line, and that's this line. It's a bit of an annoying line, not that good of a line, but it's just because they want to restrict this bishop and not allowing you to pin them. But we just go with our game plan. This, they might develop the bishop, and now we play this e6 move, attacking the center. If they take, it's good because they get worse pawn structure, our knight can jump in, and the bishop pressures. So e6, they develop the other bishop, we take, they take, rook to e1. We have maybe some sacrifices because this pawn is pinned. And yeah, we just develop the knight, play this, the bishop will come out later. So that's the Benoni, my secret weapon at 2100. Thank you all for watching, and have a great day.